Vice President Kamala Harris is making a renewed pitch to a key voting bloc, young black men. Yesterday, the vice president laid out how her economic plan can help that community during an interview with the National Association of Black Journalists held in Philadelphia. It comes as polls show that Donald Trump has gained some ground with that group.
I think it's very important to not operate from the assumption that black men are in anybody's pocket. Black men are like any other voting group. You got to earn their vote. So I'm working to earn the vote, not assuming I'm going to have it because I am black, but because the policies and the perspectives I have understands what we must do to recognize the needs of all communities. And I intend to be a president for all people. Our young black men, our black men, just like any group of people, anybody, our small businesses are really the backbone of our economy overall. And when they do better economically, we all do better.
Joining us now, White House correspondent for Politico and co-author of the playbook, Eugene Daniels. Eugene was one of those conducting that interview yesterday, one of the moderators there with the vice president. Eugene, nice job yesterday.
Thank you.
So let's start there with this idea of young black men. We know that Donald Trump has spent some time trying to make inroads there. What are the latest in terms of the polls say? Is he being successful? And what is the vice president doing to try to win their support, as she said, particularly on issues of like affordability?
Exactly. I mean, one of the things that's really interesting with Donald Trump is the way that he does it. It kind of shows a party, a man who is kind of engaging with people they don't typically do, right? They do it in sometimes kind of clumsy ways. There's like the shiny shoes, there's these rappers, and that's kind of the view of which they go when they go and talk to black male voters. But some of it's working, right? The polls are kind of all over the place, so it's unclear how it would work out. And when you talk to black advocates and honestly black pollsters, they say it's hard to talk to and figure out how to poll black men specifically and the black population in general. So that's one thing that folks, when they look at these polls, should take into account. For Vice President Harris, since she was just vice president and running mate, right, and not the top of the ticket, she's been meeting with black men. She's brought them to the president's residence, and from there kind of birthed this economic tour, economic opportunity tour that she took on that was about black men. She had this huge round table with black men about capital for entrepreneurship. And so there are ways in which she's talking about it, but even in that clip, she zooms out even more and talks about how if you help kind of the most marginalized communities in this country, it kind of all the boats rise. And I think that is kind of where their focus is. So she's talking about affordability. She's talking about they want to be entrepreneurs. And she has said in the past she wants the folks to get out of their way, help them, give them the tools, but not baby them because, you know, black men don't want that or need it.
No. So we played earlier in the show a moment from your interview yesterday where she talked about Springfield, Ohio, and the impact on children there because schools have been closed because of bomb threats. And that was a real theme yesterday. The idea of political violence and the rhetoric that inspires it, whether it's Springfield or the Trump assassination attempts or January 6th. Tell us more about what she had to say.
Yeah, I mean, I think the thing that was most interesting is, one, she said that she talked to Donald Trump, right? And she said that she told him what she'd said in public, which was that political violence has no place in American politics. And on Springfield, I thought it was one of maybe the most passionate answer that she gave and maybe has given ever on these kinds of issues. Because she started with the kids that were getting ready to go for picture day, right? And talked about the fact that they lost their picture day because of that. She talked about if you are someone who wants the mantle of leadership in this country, in the microphone she kept talking about, then you need to behave in a certain way. And it kind of gave a lot of folks a view into Harris that she doesn't often give. And, you know, I've been covering her for 4 years, and these kinds of ways of thinking and pushing and talking about it, she doesn't always do. And luckily we had so much time with her. We pushed how much time we had with her to the brink. Her team was like peaking and trying to get us to cut it out. But at the end of the day, I think she got a lot of time to give people some insight into her head and who she is, which is what voters are looking for.
And that's what I think, you know, she did so well at the debate a week or so back. But the one criticism, if there was that she perhaps didn't use the time to present more of her vision. She was so good at attacking Trump. And now she's doing it. She's only done a few of these high-profile interviews. She, of course, did everyone yesterday. So it feels like an opportunity for her team. Tell us more about her strategy and any other takeaways you had from yesterday.
Yeah, I think the team says that they're going to keep doing interviews. I think they were looking at this one as kind of a big one to kind of get behind them. But they say she's going to be doing a lot of sit downs on daytime talk shows, that she's going to do radio and TV hits both nationally and locally especially in these swing states. So that's one. I mean, I guess my takeaway was that, this was also a vice president who is grappling with race in a really interesting way, right? When she talked about when she talked about whether it was Springfield or reparations or black men in the economy or earning their vote, she also always navigated to talking about the rest of the American people, and not that, black people should be so enraged all the time about race, but that everyone should be upset about racism. And it's a way to, her allies say, bring people into the conversation instead of making white people, frankly, feel shamed about the kinds of things that are happening in this country. We're writing about that. I wrote about that in Playbook this morning, so that'll come out in a little bit. So she's tiptoeing around it in a really interesting way, and as only a black politician has to and can.
Right. Very, very, very good point. And an important interview yesterday. Nice job again. White House correspondent for Politico, Eugene Daniels. Thank you. And